Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. Tuesday, April 24, the year 2018. Let's talk trading. Lucky mistake. Oh, I got so lucky yesterday. A few months ago, I had actually, I don't know, maybe it's even been a year by now. I had to get a new smartphone, and I hadn't installed the MT4 platform on it. And yesterday I think I was in a trade and I had to leave. And so I installed MT4 on my phone. And so I was checking it and I saw an opportunity to short dollar yen. So I hit sell. Well, my mistake was I didn't look at the lot size. So it was set to a large lot. And I hit enter, short it, and then about a half hour or so later, I checked the trade and I was up huge. And I had to double look because it's like, how in the world am I up so huge? And then I looked at the lot size. I immediately closed the trade and, banked that profit. So that was a very lucky mistake because had it gone the other way, it would have taken a huge bite out of my account. So, therefore, the lesson to be learned is when you load new platform onto your device, whether it's your phone, your tablet, or your computer, before you submit that very first trade, make sure you check the lot size, because I should have known that from a long time ago when my failure to check lot size cost me huge. So we're all human, but I guess that was a small payback. So the universe smiled upon me. But try not to replicate my mistake. Learn from it. Even though the outcome was good, it was a bad mistake. You see, once again, I should have made sure I had money and risk management employed, because you see position size. So you always want to make sure every trade that the position size is right, especially after any new installations or updates, because sometimes things get changed and you might not be aware of it. So you need to check and double check. So let's just see what's happening here. Dollar yen busting out on the weekly. That one simple breakout trade right there, and you'd be up over 122 pips. And you can see, I would wager the end of the week this isn't going to fill. But you know what? Anything can happen, because you can see last week's close was 0.63. The low is 0.65. That's close enough for hand grenades, right? So it didn't fill on this particular trading platform. Maybe on somebody else's it did, and you see what happened. That's why sometimes it's good to have multiple brokers, even if you just have demo accounts, so you can see the prices on other platforms. And notice the spreads have normalized. Remember, on Sunday, they were just ridiculous, basically not tradable. And you can see what dollar yen is doing. In fact, it's on a tear. We've got 5 weeks in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of green. Daily, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see here in the multimeter, we've got 5. We've got 9 H4 greens in a row. I'd say look for a reversal. Just play a wick zone trade, either H4 or H1. And so once again, breakout of the daily, previous day's high, previous session high. And you can see here you're up 35 pips. We got a 50 pip range there too. Oh, I can look down here. We've only got a couple others. Oh, we only got 3 above 100. The buy zone, once again, on the buy zone trade, here we go, very simple. And I think I explained in detail yesterday, answered those buy zone questions. And once again, you can see how profit could have been made right there just a couple of hours ago. In fact, you would be up, let's see, how many pips? Why isn't that? Oh, there we go. Oh, about 30 so pips right there. Not a bad trade. Not a bad trade at all. Rat zone, red rats, get ready. Okay, pivot point traders, there wasn't really much of a move to a pivot. Look for this pivot and yesterday's pivot right here. And they're going to want to fill sometime. Not too many missed pivots. Okay, you can see here we've got a higher high. Now, we've got about 20 minutes left in the hour. So what we'll see is if this hour doesn't make a higher high, we can look for a holo trade, or we can do, if it tries to make a high but fails, we can jump in right here at this level, the 15 level, on its way back down. Trading out of these wicks. Chances are it will be a holo trade because it will put in a new higher open, and it will be a 1, 2, 3 trade because there's the 3 ball right there, lower high, higher high. If it puts in a lower high, you've got a 1, 2, 3, jump in at the open price of the next candle, south. Using yesterday's 5 lines, you can see here money to be made early in the Australian Asian session, and prices just continued to go up. There must be some bad news on the yen. That's what I'm thinking, because I don't know why else it would be so far, why the yen is so weak, because I can't see anything that makes the dollar strong. Wick zone, price doesn't like staying in the wick zone. I say it every day. And I'm curious, you guys let me know if you're trading a wick zone. I'm just curious of the people watching, traders watching this video, how many of you are actually taking trades off the wick zone? And we've got the holo set up here. You can see it's getting ready to put in a new holo. We've got 18 minutes left in the hour. And you can see here with the, I left this on for a long time, so you can see we've got a big stretch here between the high, the valley, or the peak here, red, and the valley here. So it scrunches things up. If you turn those lines off, then it doesn't scrunch. And you can do that here. And I will be sending out the next batch of the 2018 donationals. And it will include the updated spread dots. And actually, this is the tick indicator. But you can see here, if you show min max, if you turn that to false, it won't show the min and the max. And in that way, you don't get the scrunching. Price is all scrunched. Okay, a simple line chart here showing the buying and the selling. Based on the TRO 2018 spread dots. And I think I mentioned before, I really think I need to have how many pips were during these runs. I think that might give us a edge or an indication of how strong or weak the buying and selling actually is. As you can see right now, the bid price crossed above the valley, and we had a little buying. Now we're waiting. You can see bid below the valley, ask above the peak, so it's waiting. We don't know who's in charge. But trading off of the three balls or out of the rat zone or wick zones, this really helps timing. It really does. I don't know why I didn't think of this years ago. Actually, decades ago. But I guess I just needed, I don't know, 25,000 hours of chart time to finally see it. And as you can see here, it's now selling because now waiting because they're, see, waiting. It's just oscillating. It needs to break. There we go. We've got selling now. And so when these dots cross back over, it turns into waiting. So you can see here, it's selling definitely isn't that strong. It's not going for very many ticks. Or trades, I should say. Tick, trade, pretty much same difference, right? And for those of you who are tuning in to the RHIRB, you can see here, Harry Hindsight Trade, how well it worked. If you took the trade there, you're probably disappointed and going, oh, this thing doesn't work. And then, you know, if you stopped out, you stopped out way too soon, because now you'd be sitting, 25 pips, 26 pips up. Let's see if we have any other. Here's some, I'll put these out there so you can see some of these levels. So it looks like this is the next trade. Let's see, how did the euro do? Right there, there was profit. Right there, not so much. So in fact, here it came all the way down. That would have been not too good if you were long there, short there, and it didn't work out very well. But then there's profit to be made there. Now let's look at the pound, see how that looked. Okay, that looks like it went up. Maybe you scratch that trade right there. You scratch that trade, profit to be made, and lots of profit to be made. Let's take one quick look at what dollar Canadian. Okay, profit to be made, profit to be made. So you can see here, it does work. But just remember, fellow traders, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. TheRumpledOne signing off. to go drain the banks. Join me.